y'all. Welcome back. We are here, episode 257 of More Than a Title. I'm your host, as usual, Jarrett, Chief Revenue Officer at Outside the Box Digital. I don't got the bro today, but I'm going to hold down the fort. But I got my brother on here today, and we're going to have an iconic episode today, man. So you already know how we like to start it, grateful and thankful. And I'm actually going to use a quote for the folks from your show, bro. One of the quotes that I heard from your show that was real. From Ryan, he said some shit when y'all was talking about business. He said, whatever you're not changing, you're choosing.
Woo.
So I want everybody to know that everybody that's listening to take that line. Whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. It's just a reminder that doing nothing is still a decision. There's no such thing as being stuck. If you're staying the same, you're choosing the same habits, same standards, same results. But if you want different outcomes, sales, leadership, life, relationships, we got to move differently, especially as a culture. So growth starts with ownership.
Especially as a culture.
Especially as a culture. So growth starts with ownership. Become the moment you stop changing is the moment you co-sign the status quo. And that's not what the fuck we do here at More Than a Title. We push the envelope. So let that marinate for a second, y'all. Grateful and thankful to be here with my brother. And we're going to get it pop. I'm going to give him the intro that my bro deserves, man. Let's get it pop.
Let's start the show.
Time we got on this show. I just want to give a quick just intro, man, because I want to say, I'm so proud of this brother right here. I've known this brother for about 15 years. We got our sales chops together at a place called VSW, man. He was one of the leaders in the organization, straight up and down. And he was somebody that always I looked to was like, yo, look, this is how you move. This is how I got to do. You remember when I came in there, braids down my back and shit, like I was in Catholic school. You saw that? You remember that shit? I was looking crazy. But you was one of the people that was just always respectful, always held it down, always carried yourself a certain way. So to see the respect and the love and the admiration and the success that you're getting right now, bro, I'm telling you, it's deserved.
Thank you,
because you went through it. You know what I'm saying? And so for the first time listeners, welcome to More Than a Title. This is the real talk. We sit down with leaders, creatives, trailblazers that are proving success is more than a title. This brother is the managing partner of the Empire Collective team at Jarrett, a 16-year real estate veteran, a pioneer using digital media to disrupt the industry with over $1 billion in sales and hundreds of top agents trained under his guidance. He's redefining what it means to build a legacy in one of the most competitive markets in the world. You've seen him on Wall Street Journal. You've seen him on MSNBC. You've seen him with Angela Yee. You've seen him on New York Times. And he's also one of the star cast members of Netflix top hit show, Own in Manhattan. Let's introduce my brother, Mr. Jordan March, y'all. Let's get
what up?
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna give you the horn.
Yeah, give me something. Yeah,
horns, all that. My dog, what up, baby? Welcome back, man.
And a pleasure to be here with this. It's episode what? 257?
257, bro. We working.
Y'all working,
man. 100 episodes in 2024, 85 episodes in 2025. Not including what we've done in Cannes. We've done CIAA. We've done Par for Peace. We've done Black Week. Bro, we out here. So I ain't going to say we not working, but the ones at the top, y'all see us working, and we on your ass, man. We independent Black-owned media company, and we're going to keep doing what we need to do for the culture. You heard? That's what we're doing.
I love it. Keep it going. Yep.
Yes, sir. But bro, so we came. First of all, thank you for allowing us to come down to the Jarrett office. So if you didn't see the first episode, make sure you go back because it's an iconic episode. We had just got our equipment. Bro, let us come to the office. We set up. We had a great, amazing time. Met a lot of cast members. Shout out to Genesis. Shout out to Now.
Shout out to Genesis.
It was just love, bro. So what's new, man? Tell us what's new, man. How's the family? How's life?
Wow. So I mean, a lot has happened since we last caught up. Now
Crazy.
we in season 2, which I mean, it is just the beginning. You know, we're about a month in from the first show, and it's been 5 stars all across the world. I mean, it's surreal, honestly, to see out of all TV, all reality, but like all TV to just, chart in the top 10, top 5, and be a brand that's a top 3 show brand, and just, it's been very humbling to see that my life and their lives and Ryan's life is, really entertaining, ultimately, right? Like that's reality. So it's been nuts, but the business is exploding, and we're just doing so many other things along with real estate and just having a great time. Family's healthy, got 2 boys, and now one's in middle school for the first year, so that's been an adjustment.
Fire.
Taking a subway on his own, commuting, doing the whole thing, moving around. So that's been tough for me. You know what I mean? I'm like a protective father in a certain way.
That shit's nerve wracking.
It's my kids. You know, my parents would be the type to kind of push you at the nest, but it's been great to see overall. You know,
how does the family react to the success? So how does the kids, when you turn on Netflix and they see dad, how does that feel for you, bro?
So my younger son's he's supposed to be on it, and hopefully by next season we'll get him in on it. But he's like a dancer. He's got so much talent. My oldest son, he's just more like laid back. He's not really, you know, tripping.
Like, that's cool, dad.
Like he's just like I want my dad. Like he's not really gassing it or nothing. You know what I mean? So it's been chill either way. But yeah, like the family's been responding to it well. You know, it's incredible to see because, you know, growing up for me, I actually did some history in performing arts.
Yeah.
My mother had me as doing auditions and doing go-sees for about 1.5 years straight, where I missed a lot of school. And we're just at it, you know, and most of the times you get a no, and like, you just gotta, you know, just keep hustling and keep the dream alive. So it's kind of funny to see all this in full swing, and then it ultimately be about real estate, which to me was a big accident to even be in, you know, if you know my story. So
method supposed to be in digital sales with me.
Yeah, right.
We're killing that shit.
Right. You know, so in that way, it's been just incredible, and just to see the outpouring of love from people all over the world, and that it's also been a very transformative piece as much as it's documentary. You know, because people are now having to think about, you know, what is their careers like, and I have so many people talking to me about how it's inspired them to take action and renegotiate their salaries and walk out on their job. You don't even know.
Talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, it's the work we're doing is very empowering. So I love to see that, and that it's challenging too. And we're all going through it. It's very real. We're bearing our soul. We're opening it up, and you know, we want to be as open as possible. I mean, that's the real goal, you know.
Yeah.
So
I gotta ask you, what's the one of the illest messages you've gotten since you've embarked this journey? What's the illest message you got from somebody from France, Germany, somewhere overseas, anywhere that it really impacted you? What was that?
I mean, I heard one specifically about a female who's been going through a cycle for about 10 years, and felt the courage to speak up and negotiate herself a raise, but also was ready to walk away from her job. And that was what she needed to see and hear. I mean, I have people who are saying that I am you. Like, I see myself in you when I watch that show, because I'm going through that same thing. And it's not even just about job, right? It's about creating the life that by your own design. And sometimes it means taking risks, and sometimes it means walking out of situations, whatever you're not changing, you're choosing, right? So for me, it was you telling me and you sitting right in front of me. You're right. So I got to now think about my life and really putting myself first, but also making sure that I'm exercising boundaries. Method. Because sometimes it's a lot of where, like, people are very much in like vision state, and you got to be sometimes in motion state, making decisions, tapping through things, right? And like finding that momentum. So for me, it was like just seeing people really connect with what I was going through and seeing themselves in that. That's been huge as a whole. And just also a lot of people of color just saying, yo, what about home ownership? How do I get in this game? How do I really enable myself? Like,
yeah,
you know, people feeling like they said this is like a masterclass, you know, so people are saying, like, I mean, I've had people cry, you know, based on what was going on. That was a crazy, you know, a lot of people saying that they've shed tears watching this piece. So it's just incredible. It's very beautiful. So if you haven't seen it, you know, I hope you know, as touched as everybody else's, but like, it's just been amazing to see that, like, it's not just typical reality. We're talking about deals. We're talking about our lives.
Millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But one thing that touched me, and we talk about this shit all the time on the show, bro. We talk about playing the game, especially people from our culture. Yeah. What does it look like climbing the corporate ladder? What does it look like, you know, gaining access to power, getting power, you know, feeling not feeling like you've done so much, but being overlooked, right? And it was an episode where you did that, when you actually sat down with Ryan, bro. And I was like, you did that shit to perfection. Because a lot of us from our culture, there's no playbook for this shit. There is no playbook of how to talk to your boss, how to ask for that raise, how to still tell him, yo, I deserve that, but I respect your decision. You know what I'm saying? And the way you handled that shit, bro, I was like, that shit was a masterclass, bro. So I'm curious what your mindset in that moment, when the camera's rolling. How the fuck do you? Because it's still your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers, the camera. I still gotta be good with him.
Yeah, the biggest thing is like, this is a game, right? And it's a game of honestly a lot of like understanding what your next move is, right? You're always good as your next move, and sometimes you have a bad last move, but just like playing golf, you got to reset, right? You can't. It'll literally mess up your whole game, right? Yeah, we playing golf now.
You let me know when you're ready. I'm driving 220 right now. Stop playing with me.
You got to be a man. You got to be somebody who is tempered, somebody who doesn't oversell, somebody who doesn't overpromise. And sometimes, like, it's wait your turn, or it's pivot, or it's use what you have now, right? Like, a lot of people, they're not able to scale because their personality gets in the way, right? My management style was like, I wanted to get out of the way. I wanted to enable people, give them tools, give them resources, support them, and get out of the way. And for a company like Sirhan, it's going fast.
Fucking rocket ship.
Like, the rocket ship is like an understatement, because when they say don't question it, get in the rocket ship and just make it work, like that's what we're doing. So for Ryan to be at how many billions of dollars of sales it is now within a couple short years, post-pandemic world, where a lot of people were just not taking risks, but you got to go into people with a mindset of humility, right? To genuine conversations. You need to be frank, but my clients and people like me because I could kind of take shit, right? You don't let your ego get out of control. And sometimes people are right? So having awareness, like, I want to say my piece. I want to be heard, but I also need to understand others in the same way that I'm seeking to be understood.
Method.
Right? So that's the real goal. And a lot of times we're just fighting and just saying, I just want you to understand my piece, but not really understanding like what you're dealing with on your own chessboard, because there may not be things that you see. Right? I sit there and it's Ryan Sirhan. He's the best of the best. So at the same time, I'm sitting here and thinking, what do I not know? What am I not seeing? And I'm going to challenge it. And I'm going to ask my own questions. And I'm going to, we're going to get in each other's face sometimes. Like, that's kind of what it is. But we're fighting about the money. At the end of the day, everybody just wants to make a bigger bag, right? And there's different ways to get there, right? And he's got his dynamics and what he's dealing with too, in raising a company and starting from scratch as a young CEO. So, right, like, there's casualties at war, right?
But it's one thing that he told you during the same episode where he said, if you're not changing, you're choosing. He also told you, he was like, yo, I wanted the 200 Amsterdam spot. And he hit you with the, do you know the architecture? Do you know the development? Do you know the corporate structure? Do you know this? Do you know that? And you hit him with the look like, you're right.
Well, it's not even that. I mean, listen, I know that property in and out. So, I've sold penthouses right across the way with that. Look, we got to fight. We have to push out. People are gonna question your value. People may not be able to see it. That's why you have to poke your nose out, right? And like really make sure that you stand out in front of the pack. Every job I had, I said, I'm going to be at the top of the pack. I'm not going to be in the middle of the pack. That's why when you were working with me, I got raises and promotions
easily.
Every time I was in a company, I was pushed into power because I really make sure I poked my nose out. I went the extra mile. I don't talk before I know I put the work in.
I keeps it real.
That was real. That was real.
Right. No, but a lot of people aren't ready, right? Like, know what you're ready for. Know what you're asking for. You want this type of shot. You want this type of opportunity. What does it really take to get a #1 show on Netflix?
That's real.
Right.
So how do you know, but how, for people in our community, bro, how do you know when you're ready in that aspect? Right? Because you could have took it a couple of different ways, but you didn't. A lot of us, we have a lot of ego, bro. We know we're super talented. We know we get overlooked. We know all of these things, right? But still playing the game is a delicate balance. So, like, what advice would you give to the people that are playing that game and are dealing with the delicate balance to make sure they win the game ultimately, bro? What's that look like?
I mean, still, it's patience.
There you go.
Patience. If you can marry time, execute, use time to your advantage, scale time with people, technology, right? Better, smarter ways of doing business, but use time to your advantage. Take the time to till the land and wait and water and wait and watch what the universe does. Because if you would have told me 18 years ago, I'll be sitting in front of you talking about Netflix.
We used to sit at lunch.
Bro,
Netflix wasn't around when we was talking.
right. Yeah. And even before that, like I gotten into that business because I hit a brick wall and I got into media from real estate. And I said, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do something a little bit different. And each year it was this, but it wasn't always smooth, right? But each year you level up and you start to look at the trajectory of your life and you say, you know what? I'm just glad I stayed around. I'm just glad I stayed put. I'm just glad I put my head down. And then you start seeing, okay, your team's doing records. I mean, it's been over a decade that I've had record teams, you know.
Yeah, right? Shit, boy. If nobody tell you, you can't talk anything else. Talking here.
It's not a get rich quick scheme, right? Like, we have to get out of the mentality that anything's going to come easy to us that's worth it, right? Like, anything that you want that's hard, you have to be really putting in the work for. And it's not about visualizing. It's not about just manifesting, because I hear that word thrown out so much. And I was a big manifester.
I'm going to do it too. You got to put in the work.
You got to. Money loves systems. The universe loves creating systems. That's why this entire business thrives off that. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're not thinking of better ways to improve your game, especially as people of color, we have to be on our A game, right? And that's important for us because right now there's less competition, there's less jobs, right? They want us out of the workforce. DEI, things are getting cut, right? And there's a lot of other things that are happening. We have AI, we're fighting against the times. It's not getting easier, right? So I stay grounded.
Yeah.
Make it work, right? Stay put. You know, figure out. Sometimes you got to get us. You got no mentality of like what could I do with my time, right? Those off hours. Sometimes people got to pick up a second job to make this work. Like, it's a tough business, right?
So I gotta ask you, bro, because I know people may be thinking this too, bro. What's the most difficult situation you've encountered on the real estate journey? What's one of those that you back against the wall, made you want to quit, and you was like, I'm almost about to say, fuck this, go back to media or something, and you stayed? Like,
I had an offer in on Central Park Tower, and that fell apart because.
How long you was working on this?
I'm not even gonna say because, but it was something unrelated to the apartment. He didn't like the valet.
The valet?
Got him. Imagine it's that now. Yep. So, you know, parking's not easy on Billionaires Row.
Damn, like the valet. So how long
New
you
York? Nobody's got cars.
How you was working the deal? How long you was working the deal?
I mean, all of season 1 is what you're seeing, and it was like a whole year. It was like a whole year. And imagine now Ryan Serhane, you want things? He goes, sell Central Park Tower. Where do you start?
Where do you start? Talk to us. Where do you start? He tells you that. Where do you start?
Wealth managers, concierge. You got to go to the banks. You got to go to follow the money, right? Attorneys, right? Estate planners, right? It's really about the billionaires team.
But where you find these Zoom info for these people?
Billionaires, regular people.
But where you find it? Ain't no Zoom info for this shit. Where you getting the context on? Is it just a portfolio of relationships?
LinkedIn. You gotta go. Look, even Elon Musk. Look at this. Let's see. Let's see if I want to talk to Elon Musk, right?
Talk to me.
Let's do this. Elon Musk is following 900 people.
900.
See? That's it.
Be the 900.
He's following 900 people only. So you're telling me that you can't get in touch with somebody? By the way, I didn't even realize that I do have a common friend. Shout out to the European kid. Elon Musk follows him. That's homie, right? So you don't even know. You may have a link right in your mailbox, right? So, right, and then it's about now you have something, right? Everybody's got a product, a service, something that they can leverage. How do you leverage it? Everybody's sitting with. Every time I meet a great artist or a good businessman, it's getting ready for the big launch, getting ready to drop the album, getting ready to and it's soon going to be like this, right? It's like you got to stay ready. With Netflix, you got to stay ready. You can't. What do they say? Stay ready so you don't have to get
ready. Yeah, come on, talk to him.
Right.
But,
so,
what I do love, first of all, Ryan is genius. I just think he's brilliant. You don't build $1 billion business and you're not genius. You're not obsessed with the shit. And you're not fucking maniacal with success. That doesn't happen. Right? But the fact that I'm a personal brand guy. What Corcoran didn't do, what all the big firms didn't do, they do not have a Netflix show. So when you talk about retention, retaining, attracting new talent, all the above, bro, creating that content. What I loved about the show, and I'm just going to give you my real honest opinion. This is corporate America. It's the same shit. When Genesis had to go downstairs and now had to fucking talk to, you know what I'm saying? When she was talking to Jess and all of them, that's real shit that happens every single day. But guess what? Sometimes the sister don't have now.
Right.
Sometimes this doesn't have, you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like I love that aspect of it, that y'all showed the realness of it, and it's still everybody eats.
Right.
Everybody gets their chance. Everybody gets that. So I like that, but it showed a lot of playing the game, bro. Well, hold on. We got a comments. We got my fault for everybody on Instagram and LinkedIn, bro. I'm sitting there.
How do I see that?
I ain't speak to my bro in fucking a year, so I'm trying to get, you know, right. But Meeks, for someone who's considering getting a real estate today, what's one piece of advice you wish you had followed earlier in your career?
Nurture relationships. It's not everybody telling me who they met. Nobody's telling me who's your friend. Who knows you? Who can say that you, when you're at the front of the door in the club, you know that, and you say, yo, I know so-and-so, and he look at you say, that's reality. We're meeting people often, but are we building the deep relationships? So it would be find a way to track the relationships that you keep. So it's tough because you could be out of one night, you're meeting 10 people. How do I stay in touch with all these people? There's thousands. Now I got 10,000 people on my phone. What do I do? So you have to have systems to know who you're talking to every day and how you're communicating. Because ultimately, right, like we're determined by the proximity of our relationships, which is like how often we're talking to somebody and obviously the depth of our conversation. But what's a best friend if he doesn't call you more often, right? If I only talk to my best friend once a year, is he really my best friend? So every year you work in a relationship that you don't work in a relationship, it goes down by 30%. And so the fact that you lose that relationship. So it's about relationships. It's not about pitching real estate. It's about getting to know people and letting people trust you as a professional, as an advisor, as somebody who knows about what they're doing. Because a lot of times they're going to sit there and just watch you from afar. So you got to know how to really make sure that you're always on your A game so that when they come around and say, listen, I saw that deal you closed. I've been watching you for a minute. I get people like that all the time.
And I only want to do it with you.
Yeah, a lot of times people like you, but they're just not ready yet. So you got to really make sure that you're staying in there and just planting the seeds and doing your part. Not getting mad when the outcome doesn't happen. Getting mad when somebody says they don't want to work with you. It's also very competitive. Some people don't like to put all their eggs in one basket. They may give me one listing that they don't give another broker and vice versa. And sometimes we're fighting on all their business, but they have relationships too. So you got to still know how to navigate that with class, with grace. And even though you want to be competitive, you can't throw the other broker under a bus. We don't badmouth other people. I may have an opinion about what I do differently or what I feel like others don't do, right? But like we have to be there's a certain level of class, right, to this game that we don't get a lot of credit for. But us as brokers, like, we try to protect each other. We don't really try to go after certain clients. Like, it's competitive on a certain way, but we have ethics on how we can engage, right, other parties. So if you have a listing online, I can't just call your seller and start going after them, right? I could market well so people can come after me, but there's ways to do things. So get to know people. How are you going to be the broker of the client that you want to close? Everybody wants to do $10 million clients, but they don't know any $10 million people.
You
gotta listen to him. You can learn something.
Listen to him, you'll learn something, Mike.
Right? Reverse engineer it. Okay, if they're spending $10 million on a home, where do those people hang out, eat, talk, congregate, everything?
So
yeah.
But let's get granular, bro, because we're in the same field, right? Where we talk to high level people. I told you a story off camera, right? So how do you cultivate those relationships? How do you know when to say what's up? How do you know when's too much? How do you know when's too little? What is your systems like? I'm just curious, bro.
When somebody wants something, they usually come with their wallet or their pen ready to sign. I don't have to sell too hard when I catch people in pain. So a lot of people are overselling something that somebody doesn't want because you haven't found the pain of what they need. Right? And it's really about them. Like, whatever you want to do with this property, I'm here to do. If you want to sit on it and figure out how to appreciate better, let's do some renovations for the next year. If you want to tenant it out and make sure that you can keep it in the long run and have something that serves you when your kids get older, let's rent it out. If you want to sell it, let's get you top dollar. Like, a lot of people are seeing the transaction and seeing money behind the person, but then it's seeing what value and what the person's needs really are and keeping that the ultimate priority. Always, you're fighting for your clients, whether it's holding out on a certain price, whether it's making sure that your offers really stick and you want to be aggressive and you're not overpaying for a certain property. I'm protecting my clients. I'm not just looking for a deal. And I walk away from deals all the time. I could have sold more in last year's market, but I didn't want to see people trade at a disadvantage or feel like they just had to drop prices because the market was saying that. If that's what they needed to do because they wanted to get access to the capital to do something else and buy another property or leverage it, that's fine. But if it was some other, sort of decisions that need to be made around it, maybe that's not the right choice at this time. So you're doing what's best for people, and they will always feel that. They will always stand by you in tough times. They will always say, you know what, you always did the right thing by me. And that's what kept me over these years,
You're 1,000% correct, bro. You're 1,000% correct. But also, our sellers, we got a lot of sales folks that listen to this shit too, right? You also know you also have the quota to hit, right? So knowing when to push further, knowing when not to, when you got to pay the bills, you got to keep your job. You still got to hit the quota. You still got to hit the number. The number is the number. And this might be my key to the number. A lot of problems with sales folks, and you know this shit too. And back in our day, what made me successful back in our job is the same shit you just said. I saw a bunch of shit in Salesforce, and guess what? I saw people. There were names and numbers to a lot of people. And one thing I don't know if I ever told you in the first episode, one of my biggest mentors came from VSW. One of my biggest mentors came from a VSW cold call.
Wow.
Cold call. 16 handles, Solomon Choi. Food and beverage vertical. We talking about the food vertical, bro. I called 16 handles up and I pitched them. Solomon said, you know what? He said, yo, this shit ain't right. But you know what? I would have loved if you said this, young brother. I would have loved if you asked me about this and got to the pain. You don't even know what my pain is, but you're already trying to solve. He told me the shit on the phone. And you know what I did? I said, thank you, gave him pleasantries. I took that number, and guess what? That number came with me everywhere I went. And I called him 5-6 years later. Everywhere I went, I'm just checking in on you. I'm just checking in. I can't do no business with you. I don't want to sell with you, but I want to let you know I remember and I need to hear from you.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
He passed away 2 years ago, bro.
Oh, man.
Passed away. That's my brother. He's on the intro. He's on the intro of the show. And so he gave me a crash course into this shit. And I only say that to say is that's what you're talking about. Some people are there to be sold to. Some people are there for relationships. Some people are there just to be this. You and I never done business together. But guess what? It might not be meant to do business together. We might do business 30 years from now. Who the fuck cares? I care
It's
about
the relationship.
there. Come on. And a lot of people don't see that. So salespeople, if you're listening to this shit, he gave a lot of game on that. Don't see people as leads and numbers. See people for the problem. See people as the person more than a motherfucking title.
Right.
Come on. You gotta drop something there, man. But I do gotta ask you too, though, bro, because you was at another brokerage before you went to Sirhan, right?
Yeah, I was at a few.
So what was the thing that made Sirhan stick out? Because it's hard to see a rocket ship when it's on the ground level. What is the one thing that stuck out to you and said, I gotta go here?
I think Ryan's track record ultimately, and just something new, something fresh, something different. You know, us really established brokers don't really love moving around.
Exactly.
So it takes a lot, you know, but ultimately, like, it was just the timing was right, you know, where we were in our lives. It was like just serendipity, right, when we got the call. So it just felt very timely as well, you know, but he just was like, listen, I got more resources than you can know what to do with. I mean, you know, you're going from having a couple tools in your tool belt to an entire tool shed, right? So, yeah, like we're here to make it work, you know?
It's hard, but a lot of people talk that shit. And somebody said something shit on the show before the new year, one of my bros. He said, your purpose is your GPS. And I feel like that's one of those moments where it felt like for you was the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Where your purpose was like, yo, like, I don't know why this feels right, but this is it. You know what I'm saying? And it just felt right. He said the right shit. I feel like I can trust him. But then what was it like on day one when you started there? Let's give people the picture. Like, what was it like day one? You accept the job. What is it like?
We were all masked, firstly, and boxes everywhere. And we were just, you know, think about the pandemic. So outside it was winter, but we were still like doing our coffees and our lunches outside. Like everybody was just outside. So like even you do dinner, it's outside in 10 degrees. We're all freezing, blankets on us, figuring out you can't get into people's houses. There was like COVID disclosures, and then all these disclosures just to get into a person's apartment. Nobody's letting you in. And we were just like doing this all through virtual, all through Zoom. All the showings were done on Zoom, you know. So you were like, can I sell an apartment on Zoom? Can I sell it through FaceTime? Like, is this really happening? Yes, it's happening. Okay. I've never met this person. I don't really know them. The bank statement seems legit, but I hope they really like this apartment because I know it looks really bright and beautiful in this picture, but like just see it in person. Everything that you could think was going on. And then Ryan also can, and he says, listen, I have my what he calls sell it like Sirhan at the time. And I was the first coach on it. So all the new signups came to me who were like, whether you're a beginner, you know, or whatever. And I was dealing also with coaching these people every week, sales coach. So like an hour and a half sessions. And it was, you know, 1,000+ people in a room at any given time. I think there's 40 or 50,000 people in the community now. So just building out the community was huge. And then just, you know, being cowboys, you know, doing a little bit more than everybody else, you know, like we were all in one small townhouse office. So everybody was really cramped up, but, you know, we put in the late nights, you know, you know, Ryan was at the side of the table, had a new dev next to him on the left, his accountant to the right, marketing is at the other side of the table, and everybody's on one table jamming, right? Phones, calls, this, that, hand the papers across, like a whole movie. Like, actually, it is a movie. Watch it. I'm kidding. But at that time,
oh, yeah, this guy's good.
And it was like Ryan said, and he says, dude, I can learn a lot more from you than you realize. The fact. And we began to build systems and working with the CTO Coin on what are the best, you know, email systems and MLS systems to be using, and how are the best ways that we approach workflows and automation, and how would we look at the future AI and all these integration of tools. How do we give agents something that they don't get anywhere else? How do people work faster than they do anywhere else? Message. Yeah, it's demoing, it's having tough conversations, and it's negotiating, right? It's having all those things, and then we got to bring in the talent and off-board talent, Lawsuits are going on. People are fighting, right? Like, but we got to get these people in, and they got to get served, and they got to get their teams going. And it's a big change, and people are giving up a lot at the same time. They're giving up a lot to make this thing work. So, in a lot of these companies, they do what they call a clawback. So they'll take a certain percent of your deals on the way out. So say you're split 75%, they may only give you 25% on the way out. But if that's talking about now, let's say that's a $300,000 deal or even more in commission. I mean, I lost 6 figures coming over. Like almost probably $200,000 just on the way walking out. Like you walk out of here, there's 200 bands out of your pocket.
What the shit? It's 200
business, right? Somebody would pester and fight over that and not see the bigger picture here. That's investing. That's anything that you put it in. Sometimes you don't win all the time, and sometimes it's high stakes. Sometimes you could lose it all, but you can also get it all, right? And for me, I left an established brand with CEOs who backed me and people who loved me, and I was doing deals. I didn't need the show. I didn't need Sirhan. I didn't need anything. I was already doing well. So this was just to help amplify what I was doing, but it was still a risk. And we came and we builded this thing, and now it's a global hit, and as they like to say, and we're in 200 to 300 countries or whatever Netflix is in. The reach just keeps growing and the distribution just keeps growing. But it's the testament to those little nights that when everybody's sleeping, and Ryan texts you at 4 a.m., he's like, "Yo, you ready for the day? Let's get this pitch going." They would suit up because it's we're in the war room. That's how we see it.
That's real shit. But how now with the show's success, even from season 1 to today, right? How does that work now that you guys all have a brand? How does outbound and inbound work? Somebody may see you and say, "I want to work with Jordan." Somebody may say, "I want to work with Now, Jet, Alicia." Like, how does that work, bro?
People call who they call, but my phone keeps ringing. That's all I know about. You know what I mean? As long as my phone ringing, hey.
Message.
No, but you may want to, work with Trisha or Jazz and
anybody.
You're entitled to, take twice as long,
But you know how it works though. It's like same thing in SaaS sales, right?
No, but yeah.
That was so I'm gonna give you some context behind that question. So when I first started the LinkedIn shit, bro, I became a top influencer in the world. But I was working at a small SEO shop that had 10 people. The CEO was an influencer. I had a conversation with him. I was like, "Yo, bro, how are you generating all this money in revenue?" He said, "I do webinars, keynotes, all this shit." He said, "I'm on Twitter. I got 50,000 followers." You know what happened, bro? Light bulb went up. Boop. I said, "If you got 50,000 followers on Twitter and you're able to employ my ass for the price that I need, then you're doing something right." So that I need the fucking brand. Right. You stay over there, I'm gonna go to LinkedIn. And went on LinkedIn, bro, and went from 200 to 18,000 in fucking 18 months.
Wow.
$2 million in sales inbound. I was the only seller. So
wow.
You inbound, you speak to me. I'm like I'm like owning Manhattan, bro, but with way less budget, way less all that shit, bro. I'm telling you. So that's
why owning Manhattan's a little. It's in everyone's story.
It's
everybody has a little piece of owning Manhattan with them. So that's why owning is so hard. It's about owning your life, owning your destiny,
the IP,
right?
Name,
owning your brand.
So, it's a real question.
It's always a competition with the brand because even people who are watching this right now could be watching something else. And Beyonce has a commercial going on right now. And Pepsi's trying to get your attention for XYZ. And, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, every app is trying to make sure that you stay inside of the app. Right? So all of these things is right. Yeah. So you want to make it so that you have leverage, you keep the momentum, and you hold the attention. And that social currency is everything these days. Whoever can hold the attention of the people has the people. Right? So that's why, when it's, when Kamala's running, she's like, call Cardi B up. Yeah. You hold the attention, and I can bring her attention to our table, right? And if it's and it's the same thing for any sponsor that's working to leverage a brand and getting their brand going as well, right? How do collaborations work other than people tapping into that audience and monetizing that audience, or also that brand rubbing off on that other brand that's being that's doing the sponsoring, right? But that brand giving them gravitas or giving them an edge or giving them a certain a street cred, right? So you got to know your leverage. You got to know what you do differently than everybody else. Because guess what? There will only be one you forever.
Come on.
But you got to really put that. You got to really. This is how I do $10 million deals. Is that everybody sees the zeros and gets scared because your identity is not there. Your identity's not there.
Say that again, bro.
Put it this way: it takes just as much effort to manifest $1 as $1 million. It's just how you feel about it.
I ain't feeling about it, bro.
Because guess what? Everybody's begging for the money. Begging for money puts it out there. It doesn't put it in here like you got it already. So you have to you got to put everything in here, and you got to be at the same level of what you want is. So it's like, imagine now, and this is the way I like to see it and say it, is that like, imagine whatever you wanted to manifest, there was a room of people singing a certain song. So let's say it is the I'm in love, right? You want to manifest love. But so you can manifest it, but the only stipulation is you got to go in and you got to sing the song. What song would be singing? Would you be singing Mary J? Or would you be singing Beyonce?
Karaoke. Go with the shit that everybody know.
Those who know what I'm saying.
Everybody know.
Right? Is it shining, 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 shining? Right? But like, so you have to vibrate at the same frequency of whatever you want is. That's how manifestation works. That's how prayer works. Everybody's begging and looking for something, and they're putting it out here. I want. If you want, you're always going to want. You're never going to have. The manifestation is I have. It's not that I want.
You're going crazy right now, bro. You're talking that talk. Yo, this is so real. Yeah, Hayes just said a comment. Shout out to my brother Hayes. When Mandami got elected, a lot of people speculated millionaires will leave NYC. Have you felt that in your industry?
Nope. I mean, look, there's always going to be people who do whatever they do. New York is New York for a reason. It's not because we're looking for low taxes. New York is New York because we're the greatest city in the world. And if a politician makes you leave because of certain policies, I'm not saying it doesn't happen and people may not have an opinion, but like to say that there's a white show, we've had one of the busiest Novembers we've had in years. Right. And there's other factors, but to say that people are not backing off of the market because there's no housing in this market and people don't move to New York to save money. We move to New York to spend the money. Okay.
Come on.
You got to think about it. Everybody goes low taxes, but your schools, your hospitals, you know how many people fly in from Florida and all these other states to come to New York hospitals? But when time they get sick because they can't get the care, we have some of the best schools in the country, right? So there's a balance of how do we get and how do we make sure that we're lifting society up as the billionaires are getting richer? How are we lifting the bottom of the people up? How do we make the system still work for everybody? So I do think that Mamdani is going to bring a lot of new thoughts, and I think he's also going to get a certain pushback because listen, we are New York, and we're going to let you know how we feel. And we'll see what happens. I want everybody to win. I want him to win, just like I wanted Eric Adams to win, and just like I want the next guy to win because this is the city that I'm a part of. But there's a new wave happening, and this city has to start working for more people. Affordability is a big topic, right? Not everybody can get in and rent a $5,000-$6,000 apartment, or continue to pay, $50 for an Uber or $5 for water. Right?
You're talking to the top 1% of the world,
right?
That can afford what you're affording, bro.
So we need to make sure that New York is still a place that the artists can come, that we're inspired, that we have a very homogenous society that's well balanced, that's diverse, and that ultimately is creating the greatest utopia of the world, right? There's a reason that we're not Monaco. There's a reason that we're not Zurich. There's a reason why we're not some of these other cities.
That's so real, bro. So I'm gonna ask you a two-part question. First question, bro, is what advice would you give to anybody that's trying to get into real estate right now? Because real estate was always seen as a get rich quick scheme. unless you're in sales, you know where I'm going with this. Unless you're in sales, you don't really know the process and things like that. A lot of people, I know a lot of my homies, my homegirls, like, I'm gonna go get a real estate license. I'm gonna go this. I'm gonna turn up. So, what are some of the pros and cons of going into this field, bro? Can you just be honest?
The cons are crazy. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm gonna keep it a buck. There's no health insurance. There's no days off.
No health insurance.
You gotta go log in and do whatever you do on the healthcare website.
I ain't mad
at it's not that you're getting a full package, right? We're taking a lot of risk. There's no steady check. You may work on a deal for a year and it falls apart. You can invest in something that someone says, hey, I got to take it off the market. You ultimately have to be there for your clients. So I would say feel like you're financially in a place that you can work in an ethical way and not in a way that is desperate, because everybody can tell when your fangs are out and there's a wolf in a room who's just looking for a deal, and you'll never sell an apartment that way.
Commission breath.
Yeah. So you don't want to ever be desperate coming into this business looking for a come up or looking for money. This is not, as you said, a get rich quick scheme. If you want to build a career just like you would as a doctor or an attorney, then you got to plan 4 or 5 years and start thinking about ways that you're going to get through, just like you have to get through med school or you got to get through law school. Some people got to get jobs in the weekend. They got to bartend or whatever it is. But you want to learn the craft of the business. There's a legal side, the financial side, the structural side, right? Interiors, what type of floors, what's the amenities like, what's the building package, what do I need to know about manufacturers, what do I need to know about construction, what do I need to know about mortgages, the legal process, co-op boards. There's a lot of information. This is not just showing a house, guys, right? So don't take this for granted. If you're going to be the best, be about the best work ethic. Now, you got to call. You have to call cold outreach if you have no network. And a lot of people do get into this business not having a network, then they're going to break into sales. Let me tell you, there are 5% of agents who are doing 95% of the business in each neighborhood.
Message.
They're not, and people want to work with a broker who has a reputation. So you may need to partner up and get a mentor. You may need to find a team leader that's going to help support your business, right? But ultimately, it's people are counting commissions and not seeing how much is it to train, right? Like people are going straight from real estate school to 100% firm where there's no help, no services, no mentorship. And I'm not saying they don't, because they have great systems, so I'm not taking away from any of them.
Sure.
But it takes a certain caliber of agent to be able to do that, right? And also, if you're just eyeballing the commissions and you're not saying, what does this client need to have the best people in the job? And that may mean even me, sometimes I get a call in a neighborhood that I don't really frequent. I'm not going to take on the deal. I may make a little bit less, but I know that client service the right way. That's ethics. That's putting, not going, I'm going to head out to South Brooklyn or I'm going to go to Long Island just because I got an opportunity, and why not work it right now? Go, is this really best for them? No.
Yeah. But when did you learn that, though, bro? Because that had to come with experience. When did you learn that?
That's just knowing the game now. That's the game.
That's the game. Knowing the fucking game.
Knowing what opportunities you say yes to, what opportunities you say no to, what stuff you get excited about. Sometimes you say, oh, I can add value. I can do a lot for this person or this company, but is it really worth your time and your value as well? Right? Mm-hmm. So not getting too excited, being very discerning, a little cynical. When people come with opportunities, you got to ask questions. You got to unpack it. You got to check off every little thing on the list and then come back to it. Thorough investors and thorough people, they look at every little thing. They're questioning everything, and they'll slow it down if they need to. They'll keep their money. A lot of times we're rushing, and then we make mistakes and saying, oh, the universe, oh, no, it's a mistake that you needed to learn. And now your money's gone. Now be more discerning and thorough and figure it out. And for me, it was relationships, because I know if I delivered an A+ white glove service to that client, what would it mean if they gave me a referral? Right? Because, hey, I may say, hey, that's not, and knowing your limitations, that's being a good person. Hey, that's not my forte. I don't do that. It's not my wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure you're in the right hands of, this is what I will do for you. Right? So us as people, it's not selling every deal. It's not closing everything. Now I get a lot of opportunities, and I have to say no to certain things because it's just not worth my time with my profile or whatever I'm doing. So you got to think like a stand-up person. Like, what's right is right, is what's wrong is wrong. Sometimes you got to go back to preschool. Is this the right thing to do? right? You always want to feel like at the end of the day, that's what you had to do was the right thing to do. And for me, it was going the extra mile. It was overworking for my clients. It was giving them so much value that they're like, I got to use him. I got to use him, right? Because
Valuable,
I just
not
add to the bucket. You got to over deliver.
over deliver. So,
Right.
so tell us about. I'm curious, bro. 'Cause now you got me hooked. What's the toughest deal you worked on? What's the toughest deal you worked on? And what's
Every deal,
every
real
deal is
estate,
different. So if you're not in
bro,
sales, we got to give context. Every deal is different.
every deal in this business is like, I want to pull my hair half the time. The little hair I got
You
left.
still got your line. You ain't got the Stephen A.
Let me tell you, I have
You good.
new developments that can't close because you don't have a TCO. You're in contract. The floors came up because there was a flood on the top floor. Now we got to do the whole floors over before the place is closed. And then that takes a long time. The board turns down a client because, I mean, you name it. You know, I would say obviously Central Park Tower, again, $250 million. Sell that. Deal with the billionaire's objections. Sell it. And I'm going to sell it. It's mine to sell. Right? And I'm not done just because it's whatever. It's mine to sell. So I say that because every deal, you cannot come into this thinking that it's going to be easy for you. You're going to have some very challenging situations and challenging clients. And for me, is like my clients like me because I could kind of get kicked a little bit. I take shit, right? And you got to be able to take it and not be like, this person's horrible and this person's mean. See what they're saying. They may be a little cutthroat, but those are the standards that you want to punch up to. So you're like, no, I didn't do it right. And maybe there should have been a co-check person here, or maybe there should have been a way to access that website.
Better valet. I should have my own valet there to whatever
it is. But what I find is the devil's in the details. If you want to party and hang out with billionaires, it's in the details now. Everybody's wearing a suit, but one suit's got a little bit different trim, and it's got a little bit different lining, and it's got a way different aesthetic. Details. That's why you even see a lot of people in New York, they're black, but it's the silhouette. The fabric that has a certain shine, but it's still quiet luxury.
Method. I'm talking that shit.
Right? But like you can see it from a mile away. You can be like, that's an expensive suit.
That is them silver joints you wore on the thing. This was fire. Yo, whatever them was, bro.
That was that off the walls. Those were those.
Yeah, those are the Michael Jackson niggas.
Those are them Billie Jeans
on Monday. I got the deal joints.
Them like, yeah, those Michael Jackson like 100 million. What is Sterling now? 100 million sold.
100 million sold joints. I ain't gonna. Bro, I was looking at this shit like, yeah, I like that shit. I love it, bro. And walked in that motherfucker with chin up, chest out. That's what I love. That's what I love seeing. So what I do want to ask you is, bro, this is gonna be a real question, right? Because a sales question, you know how we know commissions. This is why we get into the business, right? In the intro, I said you sold over $1 billion. If you do 2%, that's 20 fucking million. So what advice would you give somebody to be the next Jordan March? And how does Jordan March become the next Ryan Serhant? What does that look like? That's real. That's a real question.
I mean, if you mean Jordan March in the sense of scale of my deals.
Yeah, scaling the deals, building like so for you building $1 billion, you say 20 million for somebody in my business, in my industry, especially production and media.
Yeah.
That I can branch out. But also
here's the deal. Right? You're gonna get leads two different ways.
All right, talk to me.
You either market yourself really good so the phone rings, or you make enough calls that you're able to grow your business. So, and I don't mean just calls, right? Direct message, email, text, right? Market, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever else, Threads, right? So, Google search, right? Instagram ads and social ads. So you either market yourself really well so that people can call you, and then you have to scale that. And then in the scale, how do you delegate well so that you free yourself up time so that you are always getting business and you're not just tied down to the administrative side of the transactional side?
Method.
It's about team building, right? So I had to study venture capital companies. I had to study hedge funds. I had to study the way that modern companies worked in the new era that we're in and how these companies were architected and how I was going to create something unique, learning the mistakes. So if you remember when I was at VSW, what I managed 2 teams. I had family and I had food.
Yeah, that's a
And
fact.
and then family, we had 16 people. Food, we had 8 reps. So that's 24 reps.
People. Facts.
And then there's ad ops, and then there was account management. And then I still had to deal with Ian. Right? Who's like 10 people. That was hell. Right? So that's 40, 50 people. It's about team building. Everybody's got their strengths. How do you leverage and play upon those strengths rather than trying to rewrite a role that doesn't necessarily fit the person? Right? When you understand a role that's repeatable and it's a repeatable task, it's a lot easier to hire for those things instead of building a role just around someone. Okay. So like understanding those things and then raising capital. How do you speak to investors? Right? How do you really make sure that you risk proof your business and you create something that investors are going to find viable, right? Like they can invest in anything that's out. Why you and why your company? Everybody wants an investor. But investor can buy in a rental. They can buy stocks. They can invest in their kids to go to a better school, and that's an ROI. Like, why you and why what you're doing? And I was able to raise capital in the past, spend money on marketing better than anybody else. I was Zillow's #1 client for years. I spent $2 million with them for years, and that's how I really scaled our business.
Hold up, $2 million on Zillow. What's the return on Zillow for $2 million? What is it? 2%? What is that?
Let's say like
2 for 1, 3 for 1.
So we would say like, anywhere between $250 to $500 million in a year. So, and that was like, one I'm saying in sales volume. So call that, right? So $7 to $15 million, right? In commissions, right? In a given year. So being able to scale companies, right, takes team building. Takes understanding systems and how to let systems work for you, and so that you can step back and watch the system do its thing. So you have to have processes, and then processes to test the processes.
But if I build the process, then why do I need the name? That's the point, right? So if you're building
here's the thing. One, there's the compliance side and the regulatory side, and just like owning a company is its own headache.
Absolutely.
But when you're doing new development, right? Because I see what you're trying to talk about and get after. New development, it takes a community to close a 500-person building, a 500-unit building, right?
Got you.
So I need marketers. I need digital marketers. I need graphic designers. I need stagers. I need people who are underwriting the deals. I need ad ops. I need creative. I need people who are doing reporting. I need people who are looking at the comps. I need the banking team, right? Like it's teams, right? Like, how are we doing events? How are we pulling people in? Like, who are we selling? How are we selling? How many people are selling? How many appointments are going on at once in your building? It's just not something where even the best brokers in this industry are not going to do it on their own. They're going to go to a Sirhan or Douglas Elliman Marketing or Cork and Sunshine or Tower Holding or Compass, these companies, right? Because we need to leverage now that infrastructure and have edification on getting those projects in the first place and then being able to execute, which is really, yes, you can build out a team, but a lot of people only work new development with the resources that you're able to get rather than leveraging a bigger company that's well-funded, that's well-resources.
That makes sense. That makes sense why you go to the bigger shop versus the smaller shop in XYZ, right?
Yeah, and then there's a name. It's leverage, right? Like
it's Google.
Start pushing it around, and then it's having the right management. It's having the right personnel. It's having the right marketing, right? Like I got to make sure I position that property best. Who's able to do it? What networks can they get us in, right? Sirhan's got one of the biggest email lists as well. It's not just the video, right? I got more buyers than any of my competition. Right, any given time, I could sell listings off market. That's value, right? So you got to look at things, and sometimes you're able to do it on your own. And there are people who do it on their own, and they pay us very small desk fee, and they do it on their own. But I know that the top brokers in this business are part of the top agencies.
That's right.
Yeah,
I love it, bro. First of all, I love the ascent. I'm going to ask you a real question. So now with this, everything that you've been able to accomplish, right? Like. With everything you've been able to accomplish, how do you stay grounded? How do you stay grounded, bro? Because it's a lot. You're selling $1 billion of properties in New York City, bro. That's fucking major.
Thank you,
It was
brother.
hard not to fucking let your ego get in the way, not let this, to keep family the same. How do you do that, bro? Because that's something more important in our culture than anything. Because you know how
you got to stay, stay prayed up, right? Stay at home. Stay at home. Everybody's always out. Like,
you be outside.
I mean, listen, I'm out. Listen,
No,
I gotta be outside.
I know, fucking with you.
But like, you want to do it outside smart, right? Make the most of your day. Like the busiest people are still outside, but they make the most of their night out. Who am I meeting? Why am I out there? Why am I going to this? Who's going to be there? What's the purpose of this? Like we're qualifying is going out the best use of my time. I meditate, say affirmations, right? Burn incense. Like literally, I'm a man of prayer, so I pray, I affirm. I have to go into that I have to go into that veil and really do what I got to do. You know what I mean? Just to kind of like really, it starts with the attitude first. People are trying to do motivation, trying to do discipline. You can't do this. When you step into a space of your vision, it's not about discipline, it's about destiny. When you're doing that workout, it's about destiny now. And you're fulfilling that person that you're becoming. Everybody's looking at the person that they were yesterday. You need to be happy in the person that you're becoming. That's how. Right, for real. So as long as you see that you're progressing as a person, because that's all your parents wanted you to do is get better every day. When did that stop? When did we look back and say I should have? And yeah, there are things that are shameful, and there's, we could start to think about, the mess that we've created in our lives. But you got to make peace with that, because it's always about your next shot. It's always about your next step. And literally, you will mess up your next step by bringing all that old energy into it. So you learn, but it doesn't mean that you mean to re-experience. So are you happy with the person that you're becoming? You got to look yourself in the mirror, right? Being grounded is also doing what's in front of you. Routines, systems, not getting caught in the clouds, right? Focusing on the small things, because you have a lot of things that come to you in the given day, and you're placing value on where you give your time and your energy. And those are your high value tasks. But you may have a grant that you was trying to fill out, and that was seen as a low value task because it's not getting you money tomorrow, and the paperwork was just sitting on your table for weeks. So how do you place more value on the low value tasks in your life, or the things that you're not placing as much value as you should? Calling your parents. Could your parents be on your calendar if you're not calling them? Yeah, maybe. That appointment's on your calendar. I'm gonna call my mom for an hour. I'm gonna kick it with her. And just like that meeting, nobody could call you during that meeting, just like nobody could call me during the podcast, because we got to stay here and present. That's the level of presence I'm bringing my intentions. You have to have presence. That's manifestation. Is the power is now. There's no tomorrow. There's not such thing as time. There's not such thing as time, guys. So it's how do I acknowledge and rein in all the power right now and create those decisions right now? That's the momentum that you need. And you may just say, you know what? Everybody's trying to do their 8 hours of sleep, and if I don't wake up, and right? But it's also like, am I reining in the power that is now? I got to stay up all night. I got to do text messages. I'm gonna stay up all night tonight and do emails and go crazy. I'm not saying miss work tomorrow, but sometimes you got to burn the midnight oil and say, I'm gonna be a little tired tomorrow, but this time you're gonna get through it. I'm gonna take extra lunch. Maybe I'll get home a little early, but I got to make these sacrifices right now. Something's got to give. And a lot of people are hitting walls and not making those tough choices. We see the bills come in and people still rolling up chilling. No, we'll be chilling. We'll be sleeping on.
Games. Too many games.
The softest pillow is no debt. That's the softest pillow. Softest pillow is having money in your bank. When you walk up to your mother, your wife, and your kids, you can say, do what you want to do.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
He's fucking good.
But like that's the awareness and the type of energy you got to bring to what you're doing. And that's why the best are the best. Those Olympic people, it's about the attitude. It's about the identity first. So check with your identity and everything will follow. You won't need a motive, because even the word motivation means I inherently don't want to do something and I got to talk myself into it. So it's already resistance. It's already an oxymoron. So I tell people is sit with yourself and get the identity right of who you want to become, why you are doing what you're doing, what belief systems you're shifting into before you take the action. And then the action will come easy. You don't have to tell a alcoholic to drink. You don't have to tell a swimmer to swim or a musician to sing. Right? So
because I'm drinking. I'm
fucking with you. Right?
One sip. I'm fucking with you.
So the problem is a lot of people have married a certain identity in their life, and they let that identity of whoever their mom or their parents told them or what they had one friend. It's you, everybody believe in something.
That's
but
right.
The biggest, most successful people, you want to know what Ryan said to me?
Talk to me.
I said, biggest lesson you would change. And by the way, we're at the top of the board. I'm number one. Every money's coming in. Everything's great. What's your feedback for me now, Ryan? And he says you need to even think even more highly of yourself. And I'm like, interesting.
I think highly of myself. How do I think more? What does that look like?
How much? So now that's for me to answer. So then I go, what can I accomplish? How do I use my time better? Where does my energy go? A lot of us say that we want better for our lives, but we're sitting here gossiping and lying and whatever, and we're saying our values are different because ultimately you could see someone's values by how they use their time, not what they say that it's important to them. Message. You could just watch your life and go, that's what's important to you. You don't want this as bad as you say you do. That's what you want. Whatever you're doing is what you want. Do what you want. A lot of people get in real estate, like, I'm going to do this. But then you're out here doing, that's what you want to be doing. So get in tune with who you are. Write that down. Get to know. Write down the adjectives. How would I act as the person that I'm trying to grow into? And then step into that because that's what you need to carry yourself into. And sometimes, you gotta tell mofos they gotta reintroduce themselves to you when they meet you. Y'all met me last year, but you all don't know the new me now. And I know that happened last time, but that's not who we are forever. Am I stuck? Message. Right?
Come on, bro. Talk about it.
So
talk about it.
Yeah, like a lot of times, and you got to do it quietly. You got to make it firm. You got to go in the darkness. You got to really sit with yourself and then I don't communicate those things. I just move. Sometimes we're talking too much and it loses its potency. Sometimes you got to prove it to yourself first. Prove it to yourself. Stay low with it. Cut people off. Go 90 days. Focus on you. Boom, 90 days. I'm off the market. I'm just lasered in. Right? Make decisions. Tell people, hey, don't call me for the parties on Friday. I'm not coming. And then know how you work, because you know if you always pick up your phone, then maybe you got to make sure the phone's off. We're gonna turn this phone off. Maybe we're not gonna roll the blunt up for a little bit because you know what, we got to get work done. And this is my life, and this is serious, and this is a war of poverty. And my mama up here needs some, need to get a new spot because her roof caving in, right? And I got bill collectors at the door, the IRS at the, whatever you're going through, right? That's what type of focus you guys need to have. People, the problem is our community, it's about quick wins. You guys have momentum, patience. Pushing it, get the momentum, keep the momentum. Don't breathe, okay, time to celebrate, time to pop a bottle. Nah, keep that money. Lay low. Post up. You see what I'm saying? And, right? Yeah, get the money. Be like, what do I spend with the money? No, let it.
Out that.
I think I'm broke for days. People laugh at me all day. Jordan, change your phone. I got an iPhone 12.
Yeah, screen crack?
I got an iPhone.
Is a screen crack? I can't tell. I'm like, no.
I got an iPhone 12. This thing just joined. Where are we at? 18 now?
Son, nah. But I like it. I know where you're going with it. I fucking like it.
You see what I'm saying?
I see. Exactly.
Whatever. There's so much waste that anyway. So really do that work and realize that just like if you had two babies in a room and you would say, could both of these kids be billionaires? What would you say?
Can both of them be billionaires?
In their life, you're looking at babies. You're in the hospital.
I would feel like,
let's say millionaires.
I would say it's realistic, but they have to put in the work. That's it.
Right.
That's it. I have to teach them the way to get to that. I have a
But
show
what I'm
behind
saying is the
scenes and all that other
potentiality
shit.
was there. When did we lose that sake of potentiality? Everything could change in 1 year of hard work in your life. Everybody who's watching could change everything in a year.
Message.
And level everything up. But you don't want to make the tough choices. You don't want to make the tough decisions. You don't want to sacrifice the nights out. You don't want to get up early and put the alarm on. It's like, well, you can't do the same thing and expect a different result. It's that easy, though. It really is that easy. But what I tell people is check in with themselves.
It's so hard to do that in our culture, bro. And I'm gonna just tell you just my experience. So I told you offside. First of all, bro, you know how we do in sales. Let's talk about VSW days, bro. I didn't know shit. That was my first sales job. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
I did mortgages and shit like that, but I was kind of like a rep booking the meeting and then somebody else sell. When I came to VSW, that was my first sales job.
For real.
I don't know if you know this shit that I told Tommy McMaster, and Tommy fucking approved this shit.
Wow.
Around the shit. It was, to me, shit was mad people. They were like, yo, who are you? They was like, who are you? I said, I was the fucking second to last. I said, I'm Jarrett Thomas from the Bronx. I'm from Evander Childs High School, and I'm going to be the fucking top rep here. Everybody laughed. Did you know that? You wasn't there. So you wouldn't have known because you was on the floor. We in the fucking front of the building. I said, I'm Jarrett Thomas from fucking Evander Childs from the Bronx. I'm going to be the top seller. They looked at me and laughed, and I said, just watch me. Tell the people, bro, just because sometimes it's different me saying it, bro. 6 months to a year later, was it not me, Santilli, Santo? Was it not us getting this money?
Right.
And was putting that work in, bro. Motherfuckers leaving at 5:30. I'm staying at 6:15.
Right.
Extra dial. Because I didn't know no better. I went behind the ears, but I'm going to figure this shit out. So I want people to really understand that shit, right? And for us as a culture, right? Like to say, like, you find your purpose, find these things, do this, build the team. It is hard for us, bro. It is so fucking difficult, man. It's so difficult for me. So I'm going to tell you what I'm dealing with. I'm not going to tell you all the details, but I'm going to tell you what I'm dealing with, bro. Like, I started this podcast 5 years ago. Motherfuckers laughed me out the room.
Right.
We on 2K, and they said, you doing a podcast? Everybody got a podcast. What you going to do? And they laughed me, and I'm like, all right, watch me. Until I got the CEO of Rap Snacks. Until I got the CEO of Revolt. Until I got the fucking owner of Washington Nationals. Until I got Jordan March on the show. And this is the second time coming on.
You with Beyonce's dad. She's with Beyonce's dad. Like,
come on, bro. Twice. Not once, but twice. And we going to Houston next month. And we going to Houston next month. So let's talk that shit. But guess what? Motherfuckers laughed at me, bro. And you know what? I could have been like, I'm going to hold all the opportunities. I'm going to do this. I put people on. I give opportunities. Nobody gave me this opportunity. They laughed at me. So for somebody like you, and why you had the conversation with Ryan, because I know what the fuck you sacrificed. You know what I'm saying, bro? Can we have a real conversation? I know what you sacrificed. And so when you were speaking, you wasn't speaking for yourself. You were speaking for all of us. And I'm not saying that shit lightly, bro. I'm not saying like you hold the whole face on the shit. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is everybody who saw the shit, that have the mindset that I have, saw the same fucking shit.
Right.
Speaking up for yourself.
Right.
You're saying the right
brother.
things.
Yeah.
Doing the right things, bro. So when I saw that shit, I was like, yo, bro, that is so hard because I couldn't do that shit in closed doors. Some people can't do that shit in closed doors with no cameras.
Right.
You did the shit in closed doors with a camera on Netflix.
Right.
You did it the right way. So I'm going to tell you as your brother.
Thank you, my brother.
As your brother, you did that shit. You are doing that shit. Your sacrifice.
Thank you, brother.
Not taken lightly, bro. So continue to do the things you're doing, bro. Continue to bring the ladder down. Continue to be the voice, bro, because I don't know too many. You know who the most popping black real estate person I know is Jordan March.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. Yeah,
I'm telling you that. So keep
in the beginning,
bro. Keep putting on for us.
Yeah, and
motherfucking
vice versa. I tell people put it on too. If you see anything I could do, y'all could do it. I was a dropout. I was running around like just doing just wild dumb shit. You know what I mean? Like just not really. And then I had to lock in, and then it was really those decisions that really makes you change the trajectory of your life and your kids' life and your grandkids and building generational wealth. You know, these people, they wanted us out, and our forefathers, they fought to get us in the room. So why we got to stay in the room, and we got to look better in the room and sound better and do better. It's not because I can't move, but everybody knows the game. Yeah, the game is communicating well. The game is answering your emails. The game is showing up a little early. The game is making sure that you can be a little humble. Even if you know you can eat somebody up, you just say, you know what? Not today. I'm going to turn my cheek. And being a good, you know what I mean? A good person in that way. Like the game is knowing when to tap in and read and look for Google and not ask questions and be a problem solver and be like, nah, I'm gonna figure this out and getting up, you know what I mean? And speaking up and knowing your worth and all these things. That's the game, guys. You know, yeah, everybody could do what I've done. This is not something that you can't touch. This is really not brain science. And, you know, it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of God, and it takes a lot of, right, showing up, being intentional, being present, letting people see your face, letting people hear your thoughts, letting people know that, you know, you're bringing good vibes. You be a person with good vibes, big smiles. People know I laugh. You remember I was managing. I used to read books to people. Nobody paid me for that.
That's a fact.
Right? When everybody went to breakfast, I said, no, y'all can't do the breakfast right now. And they hated me for it.
He did that. Stamp it.
Right?
Stamp it. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? I looked at it. I'm like, I wasn't on the team. I'm like, what y'all doing early? I'm trying to get a bacon and shit, egg and cheese and shit. Yo, that's real.
We was meditating, everything.
Y'all was doing wild shit. I was like, what is y'all doing?
They hated me for
that shit.
But guess what?
It worked.
We worked. We were the top of the team. Guess what? When the manager came and says, I'm gonna give you one more team now. That was because of the performance of the previous team. And people were finding breakthroughs in their life. You know what I mean? Now look at Santilli. He's one of the biggest marketers I know.
Shout out to Santilli,
right?
Man. Santilli, I'm gonna get you on this motherfucker. First of all, we're gonna do a VSW reunion on this shit. Can we do that one time? Can we do that one time?
Please.
One time. I want to get a
set it up. Listen, in this next month.
Can we do this on this platform? Please.
In this
please.
Next month.
I'm speaking of Marlon. Shout to G Money. Shout to Don Dilge. First, shout to Ian. You know, me and Ian worked with each other at Hootsuite.
I didn't even know you was at Hootsuite.
I was at Hootsuite, bro. I was the top influencer and the top sales in the market. And guess who sent me a DM?
Ian?
Ian sends me a DM. And you know what I went through. And I'm saying, you're a good guy, Ian. We good. I'm just saying this to for real for a lesson. I could have easily been in my feelings. You know, I cut my hair because of something that Ian said. Ian walked me upstairs when I was top 2. It's me, Santilli, and me and Santo, or whatever the verse. I think, and I hit that number 1 for about 2 weeks. He brought me upstairs. He was like, you know what? I like you. The board loves you, but they don't know you. And I'm like, what do you know me? Well, you don't know. I'm here every day. I'm coming in late. I'm sharing it. I'm doing the right task. He said, you don't look right. I could have took that Simpson away, and I could have fucking quit the job right there. And guess what? I wouldn't have got Cannes. I was the first fucking employee at Cannes Lions, bro, in France. I was the first employee right after VSW. Thought it was the movie fucking joint. So he told me that shit, and I said, you know what? You're right. Same way you did. Same way you said, I'm going to take my team, and I'm going to do fucking meditation. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do something different to show my value. I came in on Monday morning with my hair cut. I had my hair since I was in 6th grade. It was a part of me, bro. Came in with a tape up. And still did $250 a quarter. And still did $250 a quarter with the hat down and all that shit. So that's the message that me and Jordan are trying to say. Me and him was in the mud together in the sandbox. In the fucking sandbox. And I watched this brother and what he did. And I implemented shit that he did. That's why I got so much fucking respect for him.
Right.
Because I saw it in real time. You saw me in real time.
You got to present well. Like, I mean, listen, I could sit here and talk all day, but you got to know how to switch up. You got to know your crowd. Some people
You're a chameleon
there and you could talk Ebonics with and you could kick it with, but there's a lot of people who are right in our hoods and can't get through a regular sentence without bumping through stuff. Like, no, we can't do it. We got to show up better than everybody. Our English,
come on.
Right? This is our language. This is our culture. So we got to really make sure we're being the best representations of who we want to be every time people are watching, and just be excellence, really excellence. And that's in our presentation. That's in how people hear us, even if it's not a place where you think, oh, well, nobody cares, no rules. No, we're gonna be a little discreet.
Everybody cares.
We're gonna do a little discreet dinner. We're gonna
practice how you.
I'm not gonna be loud, and it's America. Nobody, now we're gonna do some little this. This time I can do that over there. This is that over here.
You practice how you play.
Remember Jewels and Jim Jones? He said, I keep my blood, I keep my.
Yep.
You don't mix it. You got to know how to switch it up. I actually got a song coming called "The Switch Up." So, and it's about some of this.
Who's in the booth, bro? What's up, man? When you in the booth, bro? What's up?
I'm in the booth, man. I'm in the truth. Yeah.
First of all, I'm mad at your ass. I got my own studio. When are we getting in the booth? What the fuck we do?
So why don't we make a song called "More Than a Title"?
Now you're cooking with grease. Can we do that one time for the one time, bro? Please. Come on. I did the intro. The intro that's plays, I wrote that and did it.
Yeah, more than a title. They call me God, but it's more than the Bible. They want the but it's more than a rival. Never made tuck, man. It's more than you side to. Send a DM. You know you slide to.
Get a round of applause.
They not like us. I know a lot of boys like you.
Come on, 257 episodes. He gave me 4 bars. Come on, baby. So, yo, I just want to say, as ending, bro, I want to say, man, first of all, thank you for giving me an hour and 21 minutes of your time.
Of course, bro.
Thank you for being solid. Fuck the camera. Fuck all this shit. I want to say to you as a brother, I want to say thank you for motivating me. Because people from my coach ain't going to tell you that shit.
Thank you, brother.
But when I saw you, I saw me. When I saw you, I saw me. You wasn't fucking acting like you was bigger than me, anything like me. Well, you know what you did? You put your fucking arm around me and said, yo, bro, what's up? And so for that, I don't care about Netflix. I don't care about nothing. I know that. And that's why I want you on the show, because I know who the fucking person is.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
I want you to know that, bro. That I see that shit. I'm a champion that shit every single time. And I just say, I'm proud of you, bro.
Thank you.
Guess what? You was in the trenches with us, and everybody's successful in their own right from what we came.
Absolutely.
But you turned up, and I'm so glad for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because you told me. You said I'm going to. I was sitting there getting 250 a quarter. You said I'm going to do real estate. I was like, you know, real estate. You suck killing the head. What you doing?
You said I'm out.
You stood on it. You stood on business.
I had a
vision.
vision.
Stood on business and said, I'm going to do it, bro. And I just want to say I'm proud of you, bro. You're already part of the More Than Title family. But I will tell you once again, just to reiterate what that entails. You got access to everybody I speak to.
Thank you, brother.
You don't have to ask, bro. Just send me a text message. Yo, you had this one on the show.
Thank you.
Intro. And that's the intro. That's it. I make the intro. I get off the phone. If you guys make a deal happen, I don't need no parts of that.
I love it. I love it. Thank you.
You gave me time, bro.
That's
my way of giving back to you. So I want to see you win. Keep winning. Please rely on me as your brother, as your resource, or whatever, bro. Just let's tap in more. And I just want to say, bro, watching from afar, you fucking motivate us. You motivate the culture. I saw somebody. I'm gonna give you some real shit. I saw somebody right now doing a recap of the Owning Manhattan. I was like, hold up. I watched the whole epic. I watched everything today and a couple of times. Right. I had to rewatch it the whole season today.
Wow.
Watch the whole season today while I'm doing work. I went on YouTube, see if somebody had a recap. The lady goes on to YouTube. She had the most views of anybody. She said, I'm trying to get in touch with somebody from Owning Manhattan, and I just hope I can get in the office. And damn, it made me break down because I'm like, my bro had me in the office about 1.5 years ago. 1.5 years ago, and it's just a relationship. So if you don't get anything, is that what we talking about, relationships? I could have been a dick. I could have been anybody. I could have said something wrong. Me and this man never had an argument or disagreement in life. In life, you say you need something. We going to local? I'm at local.
Right.
We over here. I don't give a fuck because you
right.
know, and I mean that shit wholeheartedly. So with
brother,
that,
appreciate
bro,
you. Homage.
Bro, keep shining. Keep doing what the fuck you do, man. A lot of people learned a lot of shit on this shit today, man. And I appreciate you, my brother. Just keep shining. 2026 is our year.
Yup, keep shining. Yup, it's your year. Claim it. It's your day.
You are coaching, my brother. You are.
Start with a day. Start with a day. I tell people, start with a day. Start with an hour. Get the perfect hour. 4 hours. Where I say, I'm gonna put the phone. Let me do 4 hours of work. Let me get an hour in. Let me just do this little set real quick. And that discipline, that stuff's gonna grow. So everybody, peace and love. I appreciate you guys tapping in, tuning in today. Watch Owning Manhattan on Netflix. It's been a hell of a ride.
Bro, what's good with season 3? What we got? We season 3 coming. What's up? Let the people know where can they get in touch with you, where they can holler at you at. What's up?
It's Jordan March. You can email me, Jordan at Sirhan. Tap in with me. I'm out there. You Google me. My number's out there. So I'm you know where to find me. Yep.
That's it. Go find him. You know what it is. But if you reach out with grace. This brother is busy. This brother has a family. He has a business. He has a job. He's doing a lot of things to make sure to progress his brand. He's putting in the work. So give him some grace. He don't answer today, they answer tomorrow. It doesn't matter, but give him grace. And if you reach out from this platform, reach out with grace, because that's my motherfucking brother right there. So with that being said, you heard his grind. You heard where he started from. You heard how he's managing the success in the family. You heard all the gems that this brother provided about how to get into this industry, how to get this mindset, how to be a better salesperson, how to be a better person, because you can't be a good salesperson if you're not a good person.
Right. You have to be good.
Real shit. That's a bar. You can't be a good salesperson if you ain't a good person. And that's what this brother has done to $1 billion in sales and change his family's life and create a generational wealth. So if you don't get that, if that don't reiterate what we say every week on this show, the dream is free. The hustle is sold separately, y'all. You know what it is. Tuesday, we're going to do another live episode 258. I got my brother Will Benson. I got people from the government coming in. We might have the Sheik of Dubai coming through. There's a lot of shit we got coming from the couch to cans in this motherfucker.
Let's go.
7 with my brother Jordan March. More than a title. You know what it is, man. Hit them up, man. Put respect on our names, man. We out here. We do what we do.
About me, seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? I done it all. Just one.